Good morning and welcome to Homepage, a public affairs feature of 93.7 K Country and Wind FM 92.5 and 95.5. I'm Kathy Dugan. We recently introduced Champions for Charity, where our listeners were able to nominate and then vote for their favorite local charity. Well, the KLT Foundation, founded in memory of Kathryn Leigh Thurgaland, was voted the area's top local charity. And today we're going to learn more about the foundation and about Kathryn from her brother Avery and her sister Elizabeth. I'm so glad you guys are here today.
Hello, thank you.
And it really means a lot to have you now. So tell us about Kathryn. Who was she? What did she like? What are some of your favorite memories of her?
Kathryn, she is love and light and laughter. My name is Elizabeth, and I'm the oldest of the four siblings. I'm 26 years old this year, and I'm 6 years older than Kathryn. She was born May 12th, 2002. She was born on Mother's Day.
Aw.
That was a really wonderful memory when she was born. Avery and I were so excited and came into the hospital room with Mother's Day cards for our mom when we met Kathryn. So her name is Kathryn Leigh, so we call her KayLeigh. Pretty much until she started school, where it was a really popular name. She was like one of 4 or 5 KayLeighs, so she decided to take on her first name, Kathryn, and her friends call her Kathy. So she liked everything. I was kind of flipping through one of her journals I have here, and she talks about everything she likes. Dinner at the table with the family every night, the little things in life, slipping into your bed sheets after shaving your legs and sipping on hot coffee. And she's very passionate about everything, really. When she was little, she would get really upset, but I would call her a drama queen. But I was just telling Avery kind of before this call, too, like remembering about the little person she was. Mm-hmm. She's always been, like, really deep and angelic in a really awe-striking way, even as, like, a baby, like a small person. And she's always been little. It took her, she was the smallest in her class. Like, it took her till she was 14 to really start growing. But for such a little body, she had so much brightness and energy and passion, and she was passionate about the arts and dancing and singing, and she started college at Flagler, and she was going for art.
Well, you said our lives changed
on
that horrific date that we will never forget.
No.
I was pretty lucky to be able to have a brand new baby boy that was just born. He was born in August, so 2.5 months before KayLeigh's death. My boy was born.
Hey, KayLeigh, who you got there?
My nephew, baby John.
Aunt KayLeigh in the house.
So it was early in the morning on Saturday after my dad's birthday. We were all at Gator Joe's hanging out Friday night. KayLeigh was with us, and she decided to go out with her friends to Gainesville to a club. She had a very great time. Her friends explained how she was the brightest soul in the room when they were at that club. She had so much fun, and they all had so much fun with her. But it turns out she didn't make it home, and she got in a really bad car crash.
Wow.
The last time I saw her was when she was walking out of Gator Joe's, and I gave her a big hug, and I told her I love her. And I'm so lucky that I can say that, that I was able to give her a hug and tell her I love her, and that was, my last moment with her. And I didn't know that was going to be the last one. So we all went home after Gator Joe's and went to bed. And the next morning I was changing my boy's diaper, and I got a call from, and she was very upset and telling me to come home immediately and wouldn't tell me why. But I already had a feeling why, because we had a big family group chat, and we were all asking the same question: where's KayLeigh? She hasn't made it home, and she won't answer her phone, and none of her friends know where she is. Where is KayLeigh? And so we were asking this question for hours. Mom called me crying telling me to come home immediately. So I just grabbed my boy and my fiance, and we went straight to my parents' house. And then that's when I found the horrible sight of the sheriff standing on the stoop of my house in front of my dad and my brother. And my brother was in my dad's arms crying, and my mom was just in shock, and my whole family was there already. My aunt, uncle, and cousins, and grandma, and other uncle, and I had a whole lot of family there already because we all live right down the same street, pretty much. I knew exactly what happened from the sight of just pulling into the driveway because of everything that was happening. So I heard the news, and they said KayLeigh passed, and I just couldn't believe it. And we were completely surrounded by family and friends, and we were greeted with so much love and people that inspired us to keep our heads up and just think about how great it is that we have had KayLeigh in our lives, and how great we are to, be able to say that she is my little sister. I've always felt as if KayLeigh and I were so extremely close. Her and I are the middle children of the four. Mm-hmm. Elizabeth is the oldest, 26, and I'm 24. And KayLeigh would be 19 right now.
Wow.
And then my little brother, Ryan, is the youngest. And yeah, our entire lives have completely changed. My little brother, Ryan, is going off to college, and he was just explaining yesterday about how he's not going to be able to compare dorms with KayLeigh now because KayLeigh was at Flagler College, mm-hmm. and she was there for a good, a little bit of time, and we all got to check out her dorm and move her in and help move her in and see her new place that she's going to be staying to go to college. And she loves St. Augustine. She's always talked about ever since she was a little girl. She wanted to go to St. Augustine. She loved Flagler College, and she got to pursue her dreams, and she got to go there. And we were all so extremely happy that she got to experience that. It was so hard when my brother said that yesterday, and he was like, "I'm not going to be able to compare my dorm with KayLeigh now." But it's just little things like that we don't even realize until it's happening sometimes, the difference it is.
The situation was quite different for me because I'm in Chicago. For my dad's birthday, I gave him a call, and he was in the car on the way home. He had actually pulled up to Avery's house. And so I'm listening through his car speakers, talking to Dad for his birthday. He pulls up in the driveway, and KayLeigh was there. And she runs out to the car, and she's hugging and kissing on Dad, happy birthday. And, oh, Elizabeth is on the phone. And she's like, hi, Elizabeth, I love you. It's so weird being home and you not being here, because it was one of the first times that she was coming back home to visit since going to college. She was just expressing to me that it was weird that she was home and I wasn't, because I'm usually home for events and things. So that was the last time I heard KayLeigh's voice. She was so sweet and just genuine, missed me and thought it was weird I wasn't there. And that's the last time I heard her. And then the next day, Dad had butt dialed me, and he was very upset. And I'm like, what's wrong? What's going on? And he said, he's just upset. KayLeigh didn't come home last night. He knew this would happen. It's his birthday. They have plans today to go kayaking. She's supposed to be home. He's editing and working this morning. He doesn't have time. And I'm like, well, what the heck? Where is she? She wouldn't just not come home when it's your birthday. This doesn't make sense. So I immediately called her friend, Faith. And I'm like, where's my sister? Well, and she said, what do you mean? She got dropped off at home. And I said, no, she's not home. Where's my sister? And then she stayed on the phone with me, got in the car, and went to the boy's house, who she said, there's only one place she can be. She was with Dustin last night. Let me go check his house. She gets there, and his mom runs out of the house, wailing her arms, saying, why are you here? Where is my son? And she's freaking out, and she immediately started crying. I asked Faith to give her the phone so I could talk to her and calm her down and just get the information I needed. What's your name? What's your son's name? What's your last name? What kind of car is he driving?
Sure.
What's the license plate number if you have it? Like, how old is he? We need to find them. I need any details I can get because I'm going to start calling.
You went into information mode.
Yeah. So I gathered all what's your name? What's your son's name? Like, tell me all of this. We're going to find them. It's going to be okay. His mom was nice and calmed down. And so then I immediately got on the phone. And so I'm like in my robe, don't even have coffee yet, in investigation mode. And I started calling Florida Highway Patrol. I started calling police stations. And then I started calling hospitals. Dustin was Snapchatting while he was driving. And so there was a Snapchat of the road and a bypass. So I went on Google Maps to find the road and the bypass to see if they were going north or south on I-75. So I found out they were on the way home in this Snapchat. So, okay, they're on the way home. This was hours ago. They should have been home by now,
right.
You know? And then there was a second Snapchat that was shared with just one person. It wasn't on a story. And it was the last Snapchat at the exact time that the cars crashed. And it was him holding my sister's hand, sleeping in the passenger seat. So that's how it's really odd that we know that she was sleeping at the time of the crash. That's a really weird thing to know. We weren't in the car. How do you know she's sleeping? Well, we know at the time they crashed and the time this video was taken from the driver, and she was sleeping, curled up, put shoes off, in the front seat. And the front seat was gone after the crash.
Oh, my goodness.
So she was gone immediately. So there was no pain. And the driver also didn't make it either. So I've never met him, but he's described as such a sweet boy. And I can imagine KayLeigh really hitting it off with him and having a great night. And he was just so happy to be with her and showing her off. And so my mom and aunt and my grandma drove over to the mom's house that morning, and they were sitting around her kitchen table with me on FaceTime, and we're all giggling about how hopefully they're just pulled over off the side of the road somewhere. But hours went by, and we didn't hear anything, so then Mom went back home, and then that's when the sheriff showed up. And it took so long because my dad was working for the Lake County Sheriff's Department.
Oh, wow.
The crash happened in a different county. So those cops had to go tell the Lake County cops who had to get ready, and then they wanted to tell my dad in person. It took 5.5 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
To get the information. And I was there that night. It didn't matter how fast I went. It didn't matter how slow the lines were at the airport. I guess people don't usually get tickets at the airport anymore. That was an odd thing. I just need a ticket to go to Florida. Why don't you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
People usually show up to the airport with their tickets already. It's really still, and it's not like you're numb, but you're just watching everything happening and feeling everything. It feels like a really bad trip.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. As a sibling, what would you tell someone who's lost their brother or sister?
Cherish every single moment and memory that you've ever had with them. Write it down. Just start thinking about everything that you've ever experienced with that person, and just start writing it all down, because you'll forget. There's so many things to remember, and it's so hard to remember them all. I would say to cherish every single moment and write it down the best you can, and live by them. Think about what they loved. I think about what KayLeigh loved and what she would do. If I'm in a situation that I don't know what I'm going or what I should do, what's the right or wrong thing to do, I think, what would KayLeigh do? And whenever anything that's happening that to you, whether it's a bad situation or a good situation, always remember them and think about them as if they're watching over you. Because they are. She's on my shoulders. She is within me. She is a part of me. And she always will be, no matter what. And you always have to know that. You always have to remember that they are here with us.
Yep.
she is here with us, or he is, and live by them. Live up to that. Live up to them, you know? And then it'll be much easier. It'll help a whole lot. If you decide to forget, then it'll be that much harder when it's time to remember. And then it'll be really sad, and you'll wish that you did remember.
Yeah.
I've been running off track and I'm tripping again. I swear my feet are on the ground, but it's not the same as it was back then.
Now, the last line of her college essay, art in any form is forever changing, and I along with it. What does that sentence mean to you two now?
And life is art. And she changed in the way that you wouldn't imagine. Like, people are ready for grandparents to die, I think. But we weren't ready for KayLeigh or any child. And she changed in the most drastic way. She's different now. She's with the oneness, and where she's always been longer than she's been here, I guess. And there's a few songs also that come to us that have been a part of our whole lives since she died. That Landslide by Fleetwood Mac, the line that says, I've been afraid of changing 'cause I built my life around you. Or the David Bowie song, Changes.
Yep.
Turn and face the strange, just a changes. So there's songs about changes and changing, and it's really hard to put into words my feelings about this.
Yeah.
That art is all about meaning, and it changes all the time from who's looking at it, what perspective, what chapter person you are in life. Even, little Elizabeth would look at a piece of art and think one thing and feel one meaning from it, and then the Elizabeth now will feel it in a different way and see a different meaning. And it's not that either are wrong or there's a correct one or non-correct one. It's just forever changing.
You have a scholarship program through the KLT Foundation. Tell us a little bit about that.
Kathryn had just graduated from high school and started college. She was just into her first semester of college. We thought that it would be perfect if we could support other graduating seniors as they're going off into the world, as adults going into college. And reading her college entry essay for me as like a base of the essence of what we're looking for in a person who we give the scholarship to is someone who holds the essence of KayLeigh, lives life the way she does. She's passionate about things, so a very spunky, rational debater, and we're looking for students who share that passion and drive.
We were wanting to choose students that pursued the arts, painting, dancing, acting, just as KayLeigh did. We decided to have our kickoff party for the KLT Foundation, and it was a really great celebration to honor all of the people that really inspired us by carrying us through Greek Week.
So we gifted our first scholarship to Matea Prescott, and she totally exemplifies and embodies Kathryn's way of living. And she actually was in dance and theater with KayLeigh, and we heard that she was going off to American Musical Dramatic Arts Academy in New York. My little brother Ryan had done band with her as well, and
she is so gifted. And it just so happens that we wanted to
announce the scholarship.
And
surprise her.
Yeah,
and she was actually going off to college 6 days after this event. And it was really nerve-wracking for all of us to get up there and announce it to her. Like, we didn't know if she was going to want to get up on stage. I actually had sent her a text, like, a couple days before, just or a week before, as we were putting together the website, to just, I'm KayLeigh's sister, so I have a different perspective of her. And so I just wanted to hear from Mattia's perspective, what she would say really is the essence of Kathryn and what this foundation should be about. And her response was just so perfect. I shared it with the family, and my dad put her on the spot and wanted her to read it in front of everyone on stage. But it was so sweet, and she was so happy to read it, and she couldn't believe that we'd given the scholarship to her. So it was so fun. It was $2,500 that we had collected. Our grandma matched. So what initially happened was someone sent an anonymous donation to the village's charter school and said, this is in honor of Kathryn Leigh Thurgaland. And we found out, the band director told us, and they said, this anonymous person gave this $500 donation and said that you get to choose who it goes to. And we're like, oh my goodness, now it really lit a fire under us to start the foundation in the first place. Right. We're like, we better get in front of this before someone else does.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So once the 500 was there, we matched it. My grandma matched it. Someone else matched it. And then we had 2,500 for Mattia, and we plan to up it 500 every year throughout their college year, as well as give a new scholarship every year to a graduating senior. And moving forward, we're actually going to go through the Buffalo Scholarship Foundation with our own application asking for an essay. And it'll total about $13,000 by the end of the 4 years. Wow.
Now, of course, you have to do fundraising to raise funds for these scholarships. What kind of fundraising events do you have coming up?
Yes, this is very exciting, and I think this is the first time we're really announcing our event.
I don't think we want to give too many details, because we are still honestly ironing them out. It's just a great place to bring art to life and to have art booths and food vendors, and we'll also have a big stage with a bunch of space for people to celebrate and go around and check out all the art. And the date is going to be on May 7th.
Mark your calendars, May 7th. When we had the KLT kickoff party, it was more intimate. Like Avery said, we were really saying thank you to everyone who had shown up for us in our time of wading through grief. And we were so affected by everyone who came to help us. Like, swoops, armies came in when KayLeigh died. She has so many friends and family, and her friends' parents came in to the aid of my parents, and they just helped so much. So we were really giving this party as a thank you. We brought all of KayLeigh's art and put it up. And it was like a mini version of what we intend for these music and art festivals to be in the future. So we plan to have multiple acts on stage, multiple vendor booths. I've already contacted some of my local artist friends who are really excited to have an art booth, as well as interactive things. Mattia and I are actually talking about doing a quick little dance routine with everyone.
Oh, that's sweet.
And then like finger painting and body art and crazy stuff like that. So if you know of any vendors, local vendors or artists or people that would love to participate, you can visit our website and see and volunteer. Let us know how you'd like to participate. We're also looking for any kind of professional help or ideas. This is one of the first times we're really trying to put on a big event like this, so any and all help is welcome.
Okay, so to wrap things up, go ahead and give the website out. We need to know that so that they can get there.
Yeah, so the website is KLT, Kathryn Leigh Thurgaland, her initials, KLT Foundation.com.
www.
Yes, of course.
www.kltfoundation.com. You can learn more about KayLeigh. You can learn more about our event, which is, should we give the name now?
Yes, it is the KLT Laugh Out Loud. No, I'm just kidding. It is the KLT LOL event. And
Nice.
The LOL stands for Love of Life.
I love it. I love it. You
So
don't
it'll be
take.
the KLT Love of Life Festival.
That's going to be wonderful. KLT Love of Life Festival. And you can donate through the website to the foundation. And I'm sure you're going to have some updates on the website as well.
Yeah. The main two drivers of our foundation is the holding a community event and just having fun and loving life together, and supporting families during their immediate time of grief.
Absolutely.
Because of the swooping support from our friends and family that we received, we really want to provide that to other families in need. So unfortunately, this has already happened 3 times since the foundation has been together, and we have come to the aid of 3 families who have lost children.
Wow.
And hopefully it doesn't continue to happen, and we're really learning as we go on how to do this. We're providing for these families 5 days of meals delivered, and a whole grief package, including like toiletries, paper towels, all the little things that you don't think about
Sure.
needing.
Absolutely.
As well as the scholarship. So those are our 3 main facets of the foundation.
So check out the website for sure.
Yeah. Another thing that we are building on the website to come soon is a resource page for resources to support grieving families, grieving siblings, to include books, podcasts, poems, anything that we've found to help us along the way. And that will be coming soon to the website as well. It'll be a forever resource.
I love it. I love it. Give us that website one more time.
www.kltfoundation.com.
Please visit that, check it out, learn more about KayLeigh, Kathryn, as you also call her, and Avery and Elizabeth. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with with us today, your advice, and the love for your sister.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity.
I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Knowing all of you be still. Will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak it all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Could only imagine when all I would do is forever worship you. I could only imagine.